They've had to spend so many seasons living on the memories of the Matt Busby era. But now, under Alex Ferguson, the glory days are back at Old Trafford. United's fans have seen a succession of trophies rolling in, including last season, their first FA Cup and Championship double. Now, just one urgent ambition remains: to be champions of Europe. Hello, good evening. Welcome to the start of Manchester United's latest European adventure, which you can follow only on this channel. Between now and Christmas, we'll be bringing you all 6 of United's Champions League games, every kick live here on ITV. And I'm joined by a man who knows exactly what it would mean for the European Cup to come back here to Old Trafford. That's Dennis Law. Dennis, I guess it's really the true benchmark, isn't it, of a club side and their manager to win the European Cup?
Oh, I think so. And the way that Alex is, the disappointment of last season against Galatasaray, which we thought that they would possibly win it there, he will be wanting to do that this season. And I think I would agree with him entirely that it's the best team that he has had under him, the double side, and I think they're quite capable of it.
Yeah, I don't think it's any secret at all. Alex would love to have the European Cup to go to what is really a phenomenal record, isn't it? Not just here in England, but in Scotland, starting at Aberdeen. Oh,
phenomenal. He started off winning the titles with, as you say, Aberdeen, 3 league titles, 4 Scottish Cups. And of course, that when he came down to England, everybody thought that he might have it would be difficult for him. I think for the first 2 or 3 years it was, but then he won the title, then the double last season. And he's proved that he is probably one of the greatest managers ever to come out of Scotland.
15 major trophies is an extraordinary record in all.
It's not bad, is it?
We've eulogised, spoken highly of Alex.
Yes.
We would underestimate Gothenburg at our peril, wouldn't we?
Well, when you think that they've got 7 from the World Cup squad in their squad, that they are going to be a very difficult team to beat. And we saw Blackburn play a lesser team last night and didn't play particularly well. So, no, I think that Alex will understand that this is the start of a campaign which is going to last a few months and got to be, it's got to be difficult.
Let me pick out a couple for you, and I start with the goalkeeper. Surprise, surprise. He's got a face as animated as you,
I tell you what, I don't know. He's only 35. He certainly looks older than that. And I think typical of goalkeepers, they all look a little bit demented anyway, don't they?
Thank you, Dennis. But he's very close to breaking Peter Shilton's world record, so he's no mean goalkeeper, is he?
No, when you think he was voted second best goalkeeper in the World Cup in America, no.
Well, he's one of the older members, and Jesper Blomqvist, who they claim in Sweden is like Ryan Giggs. I'm not sure that's just true, but they've got to watch him.
Well, I'm sure. I mean, I watched Sweden in the World Cup. I can't really remember the lad, but this goal against Sparta Prague shows that he has a vicious left foot, and at 20 years of age, he will be certainly one for United to watch over tonight.
Yeah, they're some side to look at, but we're heading fast for the kick-off, and at this moment I think we can hear from the United camp. Let's join Gary Newbon.
Yes, behind me the team's ready to come out. One player who, of course, won't be in action tonight, Roy Keane, who's injured. Roy, the Swedish team really don't know what to expect as far as the atmosphere is concerned here at Old Trafford. What can you promise them?
Well, obviously I played in the European Cup last year against Galatasaray, and the atmosphere was fantastic. So hopefully the crowd can get behind the lads tonight, and the lads can put in a good performance and get 2 points.
I mean, this is a different situation this time after the disappointments in Turkey. Here it's about getting league points.
Yeah, as you said, it's different now, and I said hopefully the lads can start off with getting 2 points, and we can take it from there.
And a quick word about young 19-year-old Nicky Butt, who has to come in tonight.
Well, I don't think the manager's any fears about putting Nicky in. Obviously, Nicky's a very promising young player, and I think he'll enjoy tonight, and I think he won't let anybody down.
Thank you, Roy.
Okay.
So there you see Alex Ferguson just going out in front of this Old Trafford crowd. You've seen the 2 teams go out, Manchester United and Gothenburg. Waiting for us in the commentary box tonight, I'm delighted to say we have the manager of the Premiership's top team just now, Kevin Keegan. And what a wonderful result for Kevin and Newcastle last night. Congratulations, Kevin, on that. Alongside Kevin there, of course, Brian Moore.
Thanks a lot, Bob. I think the whole country echoes just what you said about that fantastic performance by Newcastle last night. We just hope that Manchester United can equal it here against Gothenburg tonight. My first job, as usual, in this wonderful setting here at Old Trafford, is to give you the team news. Well, the teams, first of all, then, starting with Manchester United. They've got Peter Schmeichel in goal, number 2, David May, 3, Dennis Irwin, 4, Steve Bruce, the captain, 5, Lee Sharp, 6, Gary Pallister, 7, Andrei Kanchelskis, 8 is Paul Ince, who's still suffering a little bit from a knee injury, 9, the 19-year-old Nicky Butt, the midfielder, making his first European appearance, 10, Mark Hughes, and 11, Ryan Giggs. And Alex Ferguson has stressed that his team must be compact and patient. I think, in fact, they'll play with 3 in midfield. Butt, Ince and Sharp, with 3 up front. They've certainly got pace down the flanks. Kanchelskis, Hughes and Giggs. No Cantona, of course, suspended. No Roy Keane has been injured. And no Brian McClare, who's fallen foul, of course, of the foreign player restriction. Gothenburg, meanwhile, as we've heard, 7 of their World Cup squad in this squad. One of the best known, of course, is the keeper, Thomas Ravelli. 2, Pontus Cormack, the captain. 3, Magnus Johansson. 4, Joachim Björklund. 5 is Michael Nielsen. 6, Michael Martinsson. 7, Magnus Erlingmark. 8, Stefan Lindqvist. 9, Jesper Blomqvist. 10 is Jonas Olsson. And 11, Stefan Pedersen. It's almost certain, I think, that Gothenburg will swamp their midfield. In fact, they've named 3 central defenders. But watch out for Blomqvist. He drifts in so dangerously from the left flank. And Erlingmark, who makes good late runs as well. And with Stefan Pedersen, who had a long spell with Ajax of Amsterdam, he'll be the lone striker up front. When we look at the substitutes, there are certainly some unfamiliar names on United's bench. 3 of them are 19 years old, 2 of them are only 20, but they, believe it or not, well, you have to believe it, they are stars of the future. And the referee tonight comes from Belgium, Guy Goethals, and if football followers know that name, they should indeed. He's the son of the former Belgian manager Raymond Goethals, who indeed was recently in this competition when he was manager of Marseille. Well, there is Nicky Butt, the 19-year-old from Greater Manchester, from Gorton. A terrific temperament, a player who springs through quickly from the midfield, an excellent player in the air. But as Alex Ferguson was saying a little earlier to us today, he's got a wonderful temperament as well and has no doubts at all about putting this 19-year-old into this European arena. Now that's Joachim Björklund, who again Alex Ferguson feels is very often the inspiration of Gothenburg in defence. One of their World Cup players, still only 23 years old. So, start of a campaign for Alex. Let's just have a quick word with Kevin about that amazing performance of yours last night in Antwerp.
That was a great night for Newcastle United. We took tremendous support there. And
just tell me what the Antwerp coach said to you after the game.
Well, he summed it up. He said, Mr. Keegan, he said, I have never seen such quality football played at such a pace. And there was really no answer to that. It was a great performance.
Got off to a great start, and that's the start of a long campaign for you as well. We wish Newcastle United the best of good fortune too, Colin.
Thank you.
But now it's Manchester United in the European Champions League, setting off again on that golden trail that they hope will lead to a European Cup final and success there. The trophy they last won, as we've known, in the days of Law, Best and Charlton back in 1968. No doubts about it. It's not going to be an easy ride for United tonight against the champions of Sweden in the blue and white strip, attacking the goal to our right. This is Pettersson, a good spell and did well at Ajax. An offside flag up against Martinsson and a free kick to Manchester United. Of course, how it's changed since those glory days for United in 1968. Now, let me just remind you, it's based on 4 leagues of 4, this European Champions League, and the top 2 in each league go into the quarterfinals. That's new this season. Then becomes a knockout, of course, quarterfinals, semi-finals, and the final. 2 points for a win, 1 for a draw. Also in United's group, of course, Galatasaray. You remember them so well. They knocked out United last season, and Barcelona. Alistair, swept wide here for Owen. By Nicky Butt. Here's Ryan Giggs. Twisting, turning. They need a good positive performance from him tonight. But also Johansson, one of the central defenders, with a headband. Giggs again. Owen. Oh, that's a free kick. Surely the foul there by Johansson. Hughes up there. Pallister going up there. Bruce going up there. Giggs. Playing it to Kanchelskis. Giggs again. Sharp. Ince, long-range shot. Oh, Ravelli had to turn that one away. That was a good strike by Ince. He's been struggling with a knee injury. Brought a smile to his face as well. And it certainly brought a good save from Ravelli. Giggs with the corner. The big men are up there, poised to get an early strike for Manchester United. But Bjorklund is there. Gets a temporary reprieve at any rate. And then a shot by Nicky Butt. Charged away by a whole rank of Swedish defenders there. And eventually off Kanchelskis for a throw to Gothenburg. But a bright start for Manchester United, Kevin.
A terrific start, Brian. It's very important that they set the tempo in this game, because the Swedes will be happy just to kill it at any chance they get. And obviously, as you said before, they'll fill the midfield. But a great start, and the first 5 minutes of these games are very important.
Johansson with a long ball forward. This is Blomqvist, and he won't reach it. This is the young lad they talk of as the Ryan Giggs of Sweden. Actually, you'll notice he does tease the ball, and he's very, very left-footed. He teases that ball on his left foot. He drifts in dangerously, as I've said, and he's got a really wicked shot on him. Still only 20 years old. Alistair now. And I said it won't be an easy ride. Schellenberg, of course, who had that amazing win against Blackburn last season. Gothenburg beat them 6-0 this season. And then they had a 0-0 draw against them. So in this European League, remember, United get 3 home games and 3 away. That's all completed up by Christmas. And the quarterfinals, semi-finals and final, that starts in March again. 2 points for a win, and that really has got to be United's target tonight. The scene is not complicated in any way by away goals. It's a league, and 1-0 will do for a start.
Yeah, what they've done, Brian, they've taken them out the chance results, haven't they? I think anyone who qualifies now, or doesn't qualify, in fact, can't say they're unlucky. The best teams should get through.
Correct. Johansson with the header. Erling Mark playing it wide for Martinsson. Ederson's through the middle there. Bruce too is there. And Owen is there. And Giggs picks it up. And the crowd roar as Giggs takes it on. It's Nicky Butt. This is Nielsen. Challenge there by May. Bruce.
One thing the European rule does with foreign players, Brian, that is positive, is that it does give young players a chance. I mean, you look at the subs tonight, and there's Scholes on there and others who can stake a claim for a place. So it's not all bad news. We knock it sometimes, but there are good things to come out of it.
Yeah, I take that point. I'm totally against it, actually. I think the European Champions League should be a showcase for the best players and the best teams in the whole of Europe, and I don't honestly see what it, apart from giving youngsters a chance, I don't really see what it produces. And certainly, talking to Martin Edwards, the Manchester United chairman today, he said the sad thing is that Europe just haven't seen the best of Manchester United.
No, it's a diluted sort of side. That's got to be said without any disrespect to the players out there. This wouldn't be the team we would normally pick. But having said that, we knock it, and the good thing is Nicky Butt's got a chance now to stake a claim on the biggest stage of all.
Foul by Cormack. He had a good spell in the World Cup, did Cormack, the Gothenburg captain. Played in 4 of their last 5 games in America this last summer. Number 2. At the moment it's with Lee Sharp. Alistair. Vince. Finds Owen. Gets the return. Can he keep it in play? No. Yes, he did, but Gothenburg got possession. Cormack. Giggs takes it on. This is Lindqvist to Blomqvist. Playing it for Kanchelskis. United fans want to see him flying down that flank. I think Butt is offside.
He was very late there, the linesman, Brian, but I must say, to be fair to linesman, that is the most difficult one when it's so close to them, as it is here, look. He's calling for it, he's trying to look at the ball, and then suddenly he thinks, oh, he must be offside, look goes the flag. And you've got to give them a little bit of a chance. It is difficult, that one, but he was spot on.
Yep, absolutely. Bit of rain in the air now. We've been promised some pretty horrible weather by the forecasters this afternoon. It hasn't materialised as yet, but the rain has just started to fall on Old Trafford. The temperature's certainly gone down a few degrees. Play a British type of game, normally with a flat back four, but their spirit is very, very good. They're second in the league at the moment, having won the championship last season. Here's Mark Hughes. Owen. Finds Pallister. Giggs. Beaten by Johansson.
Johansson looks very much like Hendry, who plays for Blackburn, but he's obviously not just the headband, but actually the way he plays as well. 100%er, wholehearted player, and looks a very good professional.
Bjorklund. Lindqvist gets it back to Nielsen and back to Thomas Ravelli. 35-year-old goalkeeper, played against Iceland last week to claim his 119th cap, equaling the record of Pat Jennings. He's still about half a dozen behind Peter Schüpp.
I think the jury's still out on him as a goalkeeper, Brian. A lot of people think he's not up to it, but he had quite a good World Cup, and then towards the end started to make a few mistakes. But he was one of the better keepers, I think I've got to say that.
Away goes Sharp. Johansson with him. Defender with a lot of pace. And Sharp with a lot of persistence. Cormac though. Bruce. Up to Hughes, chesting it down. But to Kanchelskis. Certainly United are attacking with a lot of pace. May playing it in. Hughes with a header. Okay.
Yeah, Alex Ferguson will be delighted with this start, Brian. I mean, it's the way they've picked up the pace and said, we're going to play at Manchester United's pace here tonight. And of course the pitch, in many ways, will help them do that because it's a beautiful surface and the ball is zipping off it. But obviously, you know, they've got to be careful because on the break, I think they're going to be very dangerous, the Swedes, as they were in the World Cup. The national side, that is.
Oh, Palace's header will find Giggs. Hughes is waiting in the middle. Won't get to him. Corner. Johansson. Ellison. Johansson. Stopped by Ince. It'll come through now for Bruce. Playing it for Owen. Hitting it long. Gothenburg, who beat Sparta Prague in their preliminary round. They had to go through to the preliminary round. Manchester United went straight into the Champions League. May getting there, turning it into touch. Gothenburg's throw. Martinson with it. Blomqvist.
People were saying that Blomqvist is very much like Ryan Giggs, but I think he's more like Lee Sharp. Having said that, they're both fairly similar, so there's not a big difference, but he's very strong, he's very direct, he's a very, very good player.
Nielsen with the throw. Martinson. Cleared by Pallister. The Manchester United throw. means a full house, but generating a very good atmosphere. Steve Bruce. Alistair. Hughes on the chase. Sharp picks it up. Oh, and he whacked one in, but whacked it straight against Bjorklund. It's a lovely bit of play by him. Picks it up again. Some good, determined work by Nicky Butt in there as well. Irwin. Good pace this again from Manchester United. Just want the finishing touch, but they got a corner now.
The first goal is so vital tonight, Brian. If they get it, it could open up a great night for them.
Kanchelskis. Giggs has gone across there to help, but Kanchelskis plays it in. David May gets in there. And Ravelli just gets there before him. I think the referee may have given a free kick for the foul by May on this Gothenburg goalkeeper. Manchester United 0. Göteborg, as they say in Sweden, 0. Coming up to 13 minutes. Two great Scandinavian goalkeepers on display tonight. Peter Schmeichel.
Both totally different in the way they perform the art of goalkeeping, Brian, it's got to be said. But nevertheless, both very effective, I think.
Kanchelskis. Butt. Oh, nice little return ball played there by Nicky Butt. Kanchelskis off with it on a pace. Gets the free kick.
Yeah, he's a little bit unlucky there, Nielsen, but one thing for sure, he's got the pace to match Kanchelskis. Just looking at that little clip there, and there's not many can do that, Brian.
Ravelli. Here comes the free kick. Swarming, there's so much movement in that box, as you can see. That's a very good picture indeed. Floated very high towards Mark Hughes, but too high. Yeah, it's like a swarm of wasps in that penalty area there.
Yeah, they're really fired up for this, Brian, you know, and I think the start to the game, as I say, Alex will be delighted with. Obviously, you know, they've got to set the pace of the game. The Swedes would be delighted to go back with a 0-0 draw. The onus is on Man United, and they're taking the game to them. And you feel when Man United do this, they're as good as anything to watch. They really are.
They had that disappointing finish to their European campaign last year against Galatasaray. And I think until they get that opening goal and get that out of their system, they're just going to be maybe that little bit edgy. Certainly it's been a bright and a positive start by them. Free kick which Pontus Cormac, captain of Gothenburg, putting it long. Header in there. Ince got a valuable header in, so too did Irwin. Out to Giggs. Sharp won't get to it. But it's got a good feel about it, Kevin.
Very good. The Swedes won't change. I mean, they're very cool customers. They always have been. And Gothenburg have got a lot of European experience. They won the UEFA Cup twice, of course. But this is the big one.
Oh, lovely header. Brings Mark Hughes into the play from Kanchelskis, that was. Ravelli gathers it well. It wasn't the best of crosses there by Hughes. Gothenburg won the UEFA Cup twice, and 2 seasons ago they finished runners-up to Milan in their Champions League group. And they don't have to worry about the foreign players rule. All the men in blue and white shirts this evening are Swedes. Cormac hitting it long. Lundqvist couldn't quite get on the end of it. May was policing him very well indeed, though.
I think most of the people who associate with English clubs looking at the Swedes tonight will be very interested in the young lad up front, Lundqvist, and also Björklund, who's also very young, but also very experienced.
Bruce sending Nicky Butt away. Hughes in the middle, Sharp in the middle. Giggs is coming up fast.
Yeah, he just had to wait for people to get with him, didn't he? Just trying to make too sure instead of maybe just whipping it in and taking a chance.
Out again. Sweden get it clear towards Martinsson. Owen with the header. Flicked on again by Sharp. A throw for the Swedish champions. Has slipped his man well there. He's hit one deep, but it's a little too deep maybe, yes. And Erling Mark.
What a shame, Brian. Such skill to get in the position and such a poor quality ball at the end of it. But little sign there for May that he's just got to watch this guy because he's got a bag of tricks. Yeah, I think he should have whipped it in near post and. Even had it been a little bit better, it would have still had to be knocked back down, wouldn't it? It wasn't a killer ball.
And that seemed to be one of the features of your performance in Antwerp last night. You were whipping in some terrific balls there from the flanks.
Yeah, they're only terrific balls, though, if someone gets on the end of them, Brian. And the movement was very good and people were in the right places.
Kanchelskis. Oh, flicked away by Ravelli. Corner for United. Up goes Pallister. In comes Bruce.
This is where you feel they might get something from corners. They're not small, the Swedes, but the movement from Man United is terrific and they just might catch him out.
Giggs with it. Oh, he fisted and he lost it. Completely missed punch there. They were so lucky to escape with that with Gothenburg. Martinsson playing it wide here for Johansson. And that's easy for Schmeichel.
With that replay again there, he doesn't inspire confidence and then sometimes he looks as good as anything around and that was one of his poorer moments again, Brian. But he's such a character. I hope he plays till he's 50.
Leicester. Furious work in the air there, getting well above Pedersen. Lundqvist. Back to Nielsen. Bruce. Good judgment there by Bruce. Simple ball to Ince. Pace is quickened again. Ince is brought down. United a free kick. Taken quickly. Irwin might try something from there. And again Ravelli is called into action. But still United can't find a way through, coming up to 20 minutes.
Yeah, this is one man you don't want to let in from here, but he's so cool. I mean, he's got his own way of keeping it out, but it seems to work, and I admire him tremendously.
Giggs again with a corner. Pallister knocking it in. Lindqvist got that half away. Some help there from Erling Mark. Erling Mark again, but the whistle's gone for a free kick for a handball to Gothenburg.
I think one of the things worth pointing out, you were on about our performance last night. We didn't really have to change the team around at all, Brian, and it does help, there's no doubt about it. And it may take 15, 20 minutes, maybe even half an hour before the United, this sort of new formation for them settles into being, but they've started off bright. The pace is good, just sometimes the final ball at the moment, but it'll come, I'm sure, over 90 minutes.
Here's Stefan Pedersen. Challenge by Nicky Butt from behind. Provides Gothenburg with a free kick.
Referee started off very well because there's been 2 or 3 little incidents where he could have flashed yellow cards and that, but he's allowed for this slippy surface. He's doing a great job, I think.
With the free kick. Alistair with the header clear. Cormac playing it back in again. Buck was in there. And Schmeichel with a long throw. The Swedes were saying a bit earlier today they worry about his long throws. And now Giggs. Hughes is in there. Giggs might well want to do it all on his own. He tried too much. The earlier ball might have been more profitable. Kanchelskis throws his arms up in despair. Hughes had made a fantastic run as well, but United get a corner. Alistair and Bruce are there again. May with a header. Oh! Off the crossbar! May have been Hughes, but certainly it was a good crack by a red shirt. The ball bouncing back off the crossbar, and suddenly the break is on for Gothenburg. Martinsson. They've got Erlingmark and Blomqvist waiting in the middle. And Cormac coming up fast. United really need to reform now. But he hit that one straight at Pallister. Cormac again, floated in. Bruce, that's an easy one for him. Giggs just knocking it on. Buying a bit of time for United here. Johansson. That's Schmeichels. Well, it's a goal kick.
Well, I don't know.
Let's have a look at this again.
Terrific chance. I think it was someone who got up off the floor. Yeah, he's on the floor.
Yeah, it was Paul Ince.
It's Ince.
Well, he's had two great cracks at goal so far as Ince. One that produced an excellent save, one that came back off the crossbar. Still 0-0. Giggs again. Playing it for Sharp. In for Giggs. And now for Sharp. Kept it in play, yes. But Cormac brings it away for Gothenburg. Blomqvist on this side now. Pedersen to Martinsson.
We're saying how fired up they seem to be for this game. Of course, you'd expect that. And it worked all last season to win the English League, to have another crack at something they didn't do very well last year, Manchester United. And you can see it means a lot to them. And they've just got to keep doing this, and you feel with the ability they've got in the side, they must prize some chances against Gothenburg. And then, of course, the most important thing, someone's got to stick them in the back of the net.
That's right. 6 matches to be played, so there are 12 points at stake. Alec Ferguson reckons 8 or 9 will get them into one of the top 2 places that puts United into the quarterfinals, but it's so important they make these 2 points count when they're at home. The next match is in a fortnight's time in Turkey against Galatasaray. You can imagine what the atmosphere will be like there, and that'll be difficult.
Certainly will be a difficult game, Brian, but it's a chance for them to readdress the balance from last year.
Absolutely.
And,
looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm sure that a lot of the players will be.
It's Nielsen with the free kick. And a good one it is, but too high.
There's nothing complicated really about the way the Swedes play, Brian, is there? You know, they're good, genuine athletes, 100%ers. And when you think about it, that's what the national side did in the World Cup. And possibly Brolin and Kenneth Anderson and the coloured half guy from Gladbach.
Oh, Darlin.
They just give them a little extra spark.
Blomqvist. It's a goal kick. To Ince. Hughes. Ince playing it straight to Cormac. Martinsson. Pedersen. Cormac again. Erlingmark's in the middle there. Blomqvist has come drifting in from the flank once more. Martinsson. And they've scored through Pedersen. That's a real blow for Manchester United. And Gothenburg then take the lead through Stefan Pedersen.
It's a great ball in here. Very difficult to defend against. But look at this, he makes up a lot of ground, doesn't he, Pedersen? He is the most experienced player in this side, and it really came good for him there, his experience.
The man they got back from Ajax, 31 years old. Hasn't really had, from all accounts, a very good season, but that could be a very precious goal indeed. Foul by Hughes on Johansson.
What a frustrating game football can be sometimes, Brian. You know, Manchester United have done everything right. They've defended well up until that point, sensibly, without anything silly. And they've attacked at every possible moment. Looked like they're going to open them up a few times. And then the first move, really, that they put together of any substance, they're 1-0 up.
But you were saying you have to watch them on the break. And we were saying from the start, it's not going to be an easy ride. And now it has suddenly become a very difficult one for United. Plenty of time left yet, though. And here's Hughes chasing, but Johansson back to Ravelli. Innes. Alistair. Kanchelskis.
They must keep just doing what they've been doing, though, Brian, because there's been nothing wrong with that. They mustn't start to abandon the way they've been playing, because I still believe that's the right way to prize this defence open. They mustn't panic. There's a long, long time left yet. Just 28 minutes gone, you know, a lot of football to be played.
There's Nicky Butt chasing this, but chasing it in vain.
This is a great ball in, Brian. As I said,
Martinson.
Very difficult to defend. The only thing you can say is 3 defenders didn't attempt to get it, because I think they thought Schmeichel must have shouted for it or something. But it was a poor goal to concede, but a very well-worked one from the Swedes' point of view.
Owen.
That'll just give them a little bit more confidence, won't it? A little bit more to hang on to in what is a very difficult opening game for them.
Here's Bruce. In towards Hughes, but Bjorklund was there for Gothenburg. Now Cormack. Blomqvist on the far side. And it should be a United throw.
I think David May on the ball there, Brian, knows he's in for a tough night. I mean, Blomqvist is a good player, a very good player. And for a young man, got a lot of confidence.
Owen. Diggs. He's running at them, but they're getting the ball. Owen again. Did well. Found Ince. Sharp. Giggs. Poor ball. Cormack now. Lindqvist. Still in Lindqvist. Surely now Blomqvist is a great chance for them again. My goodness, that was nearly another one. Flicked away that time by Schmeichel, but what do you make of that, Kevin?
Well, I can't believe how they just keep backing off, and then suddenly, one ball, simple ball, whether they're playing offside, I don't know. It's a great save from Schmeichel. He does that so well. He makes himself very big, but that is a terrific save, and that could be more important than we can even imagine at this point.
Well, he's grabbed that one safely enough.
football is so fascinating at this level is you do get punished. These Gothenburg aren't here because they're a poor side. They're the champions of their country, and the Swedish football has been on an up and up for the last 5 or 6 years now. And we're seeing some lovely moves put together at the right time and some good finishing.
Higgs. A little shuffle, a little shimmy, but Carmack isn't prepared to buy any of it.
Good little battle between these two. Giggs has started off a little bit sloppy by his standards, but you can see he wants to get at Carmart. I mean, Carmart's an international player, but he's got no fears of him.
Giggs again. Lundqvist right back there to block that one. Lester. Ince. But now Steve Bruce. Ince again. So important for United that they stay patient and they stay calm. Still plenty of this game left. But it's also important they stay very secure at the back. Bruce finding Ince. Joskus. Stopped by Bjorklund. Bruce again, turning it in. And here's his onside! Giggs has made it 1-1. Well, that'll settle people down a bit. And Gothenburg were looking for an offside, but there was a player playing onside. You can see him on the far side of the field there, playing but onside. Hughes puts it across. They only half get it clear, and Giggs rams it home to make it 1-1. Kevin?
Well, it's no more than deserved. Probably the only thing I would say is for Ryan Giggs, that'll really boost his confidence, because as I said, he hadn't started off that brightly. His final ball hadn't been so good, at least not to the standards we expect from him. But they deserve that. They've worked hard, and we've got a great game on our hands here.
Ince now to Irwin, but the ball will run out of play before Giggs can get to it.
Great ball across here from Mark Hughes. Very difficult to defend, but he managed to half block it. But who does it fall to? Giggs. And where does it fall? On his left foot. And where's it going to end up? It's got to be a goal. I was going to say you could have scored that one, Brian, but I'm not sure.
Ravelli.
There was still a bit of work to do, and he kept his cool.
It's a free kick for Gothenburg. Well, it was a much-needed goal. The 20-year-old Ryan Giggs with his glorious future. It's amazing to think that at 20 he's already played like 125 league games, I think, for Manchester United. Picking up experience all along the way to go with that terrific talent that he's got.
And the other thing that's so good is now we're back in Europe. He's not being denied that experience, Brian, as a lot of players. I mean, Peter Beardsley, it's hard to believe, at 33 played his first European game last night through no fault of his own, really. And it's lovely to see us back in Europe. We belong there, and let's hope our sides this year can prove it.
It's May for Manchester United on the far side. Here's Kanchelskis. Lindqvist, or rather Olsen that time, gets it away. A throw to Manchester United. May to Kanchelskis. Back to Schmeichel. Bruce is out there being closed down by Pedersen. That's a funny ball to play, but Ince was there. Oh, they're a bit at 6s and 7s at the moment.
Well, what caused that, Brian, was the Swedes started to press for the first time, and it nearly caught them out, Manchester United. They just thought, oh, we'll have a chase of this ball. About 4 of them went in pursuit, and they ended up 4 against 3. And they're doing it again now. And
I tell you what, they're going to throw it away again if they go on like this. Here's a little flick on.
Alex Ferguson will certainly be reaching for the tranquilizers, that's for sure. They're causing a lot of problems themselves in that little spell there of about 30 seconds.
Here's Giggs again, taking on Cormac. Now can he outpace him? Johansson's coming across well. He's a defender, as we said, with terrific pace. Good awareness too, the youngster. Irwin, too high for Kanchelskis. And a goal kick for Gothenburg.
There's Alec, just had his tranquilizer after the 30 seconds of madness. But look here, they almost get in each other's way. Just a little bit of pressing from Peterson on Bruce. A shout from Schmeichel, leave it.
And that could have gone anywhere.
He could have gone off his foot and back in the net. Luckily, it's gone straight to Pallister. All adds to the thrills, though, Brian, of football.
There's Nicky Butt. And now Dennis Irwin. Giggs. Butt chesting it down. Ince. Little touch there for Butt. Giggs again. Hughes. In the end he finds Butt again. Finds Ince. There's space over on the right there with Kanchelskis, but the foul there provides Manchester United with a free kick.
Again, I think the referee's done well, but the crowd are a little bit incensed because he hasn't put a yellow card out. And I can understand that, because this year, in games like this, similar to this, we've already seen 3 or 4 yellow cards brandished, haven't we? And they're sort of thinking, what's happened? The rules changed for the European Cup. But I think he's doing it right. It wasn't a malicious challenge, it was just mistimed.
But it does give Giggs a chance to do something spectacular, maybe. His sort of range. Waspish left foot of his. Giggs with the free kick, but too high.
There was shades of the Liverpool free kick there, whereby there was hardly a Manchester United player ahead of the ball, because you know that either Giggs or Irwin is going to shoot. But that one wasn't quite as good as the one Irwin did against Liverpool at Anfield.
Nielsen, hit long, intercepted by May. A throw to Gothenburg. Eric Cantona, of course, is suspended for 4 European games, having been sent off at the end of that game in Turkey last season. Roy Keane, as we know, is injured. Paul Parker's injured, although Alec Ferguson saying that he hoped very much that he can get Parker back for the match in Turkey in a fortnight's time. It would be very important for that one. Johansson. Oh, Giggs might get in behind him. There's a great chance here. What can he do? Oh, he might still. Hughes has it charged down. There was a great opportunity there for Manchester United, and most of all for Ryan Giggs.
Well, an incredible situation. I mean, the goalkeeper's done well again, but he should have come first of all. Anyway, having decided to stay, he blocks it with his face. He then blocks the other one with his chest. And then Mark Hughes pulls it back and the lad heads it over his own bar.
Here's the corner. Ince was flying at that one. May's getting in there, Ravel's in there. The goalkeeper's got it in the end. The referee is protecting him as United go flying in.
Ravelli's got him stuck between his backside and his legs.
And it's Olsen, the defender, who's down injured. Now, will they let... I think the Gothenburg players are complaining that 1 or 2 feet were flying in there for Manchester United, but I think they genuinely there were going for the ball, but I'm not sure about that, though.
But they were genuinely going for the ball. The trouble is the ball was stuck up his backside almost at the bottom, top of his legs. And look, they've every right to go in and challenge for that. I think it looks like he's hurt his shoulder, dislocated his shoulder, or the pin of his shoulder.
It's Olsen. But again, the referee was very quickly in there, wasn't he? He's done really well tonight.
he's in some pain there, Brian. That's very painful. If that's the pin or the corner of the shoulder, that will be him out the game. Almost sure of that.
We're down to 10 men at the moment. It's at 3 minutes to half time. I suppose they'll be debating on the Gothenburg bench whether they can take a risk for 3 minutes and see what a half-time break can do for Olsen. One ball forward again. Giggs chasing this one. Goal kick. So he's getting off to the dressing room for treatment is Jonas Olsen.
I'll be surprised if he comes back, Brian, as well, because that, if it is what I think it is, that is very painful. Looks like they're going to substitute already. They made their mind up.
Yeah, we've got a special competition for you at half-time, as well as the analysis with Bob and Dennis. May. Chelskis. May, a good overlap here. And a cross, didn't quite get it in, but he's won a corner. 2 minutes of the first half left. Giggs across there already to take it. Now without Olsen, one of the defenders. That was quite easy for Pedersen to get it away. It's Roger Gustafsson we saw there, the Gothenburg manager, getting the substitute ready. In the meantime, May crossing it in. My goodness, Ravelli did well there. Puck was flying in.
Puck was looking to headbutt it into the goal there, but a great save. I mean, he doesn't do it by he's not copybook goalkeeping, but it's effective. It's a great ball in from May, gets a deflection, and he does very well.
In the meantime, Martinsson on the break for Gothenburg. He's outwitted Steve Bruce for the moment. He's got Irwin to contend with, and Irwin fits in well. And Gothenburg are waiting to bring on a substitute. And in the meantime, they're attacking well. It's Stefan Wren who will be coming on. In a corner. They want to get him on before the corner's taken. Stefan Wren, it was a bit of a surprise actually that he wasn't in the side in the first place. Evertonians remember him. He had a spell at Goodison Park. He only played 4 or 5 games at Goodison, but apparently he's had an absolutely brilliant last couple of seasons in Sweden, and he was a part of their World Cup squad. Now he's on as a substitute, and here's the corner. Coming up to half-time, Schmeichel, I'm not sure whether he grabbed for it and missed it or just let it fly by him. It's a goal kick at any rate. You're very interested to hear what Bob has got to say about Ravelli at half-time and the goalkeeping. Lovely slow-motion pictures and a goal kick to Manchester United. Time added on. Referee had a look at the watch there. Olsen, the defender's gone off rather. Wren has come on. Now Wren is more or less a central midfielder, so maybe they have to change their formation a little bit. There's the half-time whistle, and an excellent first half it's been. But Manchester United getting that shock when Stefan Pedersen put Gothenburg into the lead. And United certainly had chances. They had a lot of the play. They played with a lot of pace. And then Ryan Giggs provided the equaliser. 1-1. That's the story so far here at Old Trafford in this European Champions League game.
Here at Old Trafford, it's Manchester United 1, Gothenburg 1. Dennis and I are getting excited about the second half, but United mustn't get too excited, must they, Dennis? I think the name of the game is probably patience.
I think if you're going to be successful in European football, that is what you've definitely got to have. You've got to have patience. You look through the great sides of years gone back, that is exactly what they've had. They're going to go behind, they don't panic. They keep trying to play the football that has got them there, and eventually, at the end, the successful team.
I think George Graham and Arsenal learned that when they were knocked out by Benfica 2 or 3 seasons back, and then suddenly, in the Cup Winners' Cup last year, they got it. And we're following Arsenal again, of course, this year, exclusively.
Well, I think that's what happens when you play in Europe. You do get bad results, but you hopefully you learn from them, and that's exactly what happened to Arsenal and happened to United through the years.
But 2 points is the name of the game, really, tonight, isn't it? That's it doesn't matter if it's 2-1, it doesn't have to be 5-1.
Okay, all right, we might disagree, but the point I think we haven't got to get beat, but 2 points would be, a win would be more better than a draw, but it's not the end of the world if a draw.
That's what we're looking forward to. Now I think we can hear from Alex Ferguson. He's in the tunnel with Gary Newbon.
Alex, plenty for us to talk about at half-time, but more importantly, what did you say to the players? What were you talking about?
Well, we've lost a bad goal, and at that point we were playing very well. We've created a lot of chances in the box, we've hit the bar, and we've played some good football. Some of the passing's been very good. I'm quite pleased we've got back in. They're just now just to keep their discipline at the back, don't be showing any panic, and there's been 1 or 2 signs of that. If they can keep the composure at the back, I think we have a good chance now.
Thank you.
Well, quite pleased, says Alex Ferguson. Second half about to get underway. Let's rejoin Kevin Keegan and Brian Moore.
Thank you, Bob. Referee Mr. Goethals of Belgium giving the signal, and away we go. Let's hope this next 45 minutes is as exciting and as interesting as the 45 minutes that's gone. 1-1 then. May getting it back to Schmeichel. Nielsen with a header forward. Ederson couldn't reach it. Giggs gets this one though, kills it. Finds Hughes, who finds Sharp. There's the cross coming in, and Ravelli with the throw out to Cormac. Now Lindqvist. Blomqvist and Lindqvist. Martinson and a goal kick. Talk about the golden horizons in European football these days. Each club, incidentally, just for appearing in this Champions League, gets £1 million. That's just for taking part, and they get £225 for each point they get. So, if United can win tonight, it's something like another £500,000 jackpot to add to the million they've already got. They also keep their home gates. I think they pay something like a 4% levy to UEFA. And I suppose there's a bit of VAT and some players' bonuses and so on to be taken into account. But United reckon, well, there's a good little ball. They'll be making something like 4 million on these opening phases. Oh, a little touch there, Nicky Butt. Oh, that was actually it was a fortunate little touch there by Butt. But it worked for him. Kanchelskis gets it again. Back to Ravelli. So the stakes financially are enormous here, and as I say, something like £4 million if they get through as one of the leading 2 sides in this group into the quarterfinals, and then, oh, goodness knows, the sky's the limit after that. Actually, the sky's the limit also for the players also. Here's Ince. Here's Butt. Kanchelskis. Really attacking his man there. Whipping it in! And almost making it. Well, Ravelli, I think, was lucky there. It was an awkward bounce just in front of him, and it just clipped his arms and went behind. It could so easily have gone into the far side. Kanchelskis, and he just got sufficient touch on it to put it away for the corner. Giggs with that corner. Floated high again. Alistair's up there. Kanchelskis driving it through! Andre Kanchelskis. 2-1 Manchester United.
It's a great goal, Brian. I mean, they managed to get the initial one away. I think it was headed back. I think it was Pallister in the end who gets up and heads it back. And he did what everyone's got to do in this situation, kept the ball down. And Ravelli really had no chance this time. Through a ruck of players, impossible to defend. Through Mark Hughes' legs, I think it is. Yeah, terrific goal. Just what Alex Ferguson wanted.
So from a goal down, they're 2-1 up now. Let's see how the Swedes respond. And let's see how United respond. Pallister with a header. Wren with a short ball to Lindqvist. Up goes Bruce. Blomqvist challenged by Lee Sharp unfairly. A free kick to Gothenburg. Having got the lead, it's important now United stay calm, get in 1 or 2 tackles to make sure that Gothenburg can make no progress here. Next minute or two, really important. Blomqvist, still a good left foot on him.
You'll need to have from here, Brian.
And Nielsen also. There's Nielsen. Oh, it's gone in! It's gone in off Wren! And it's 2-2.
Unbelievable. It's incredible how many times in football that just after you've scored you're at your most vulnerable. But this is a deflection actually from one of the Gothenburg players. Is it Rahn, is it?
Wren.
Terrific. And I mean, Schmeichel had no chance because he's going for one. I think had it not been deflected, it would have been a very easy save for him.
What a remarkable game this is turning out to be. So now United have got to do it again. Nielsen gets it away. Kanchelskis. Well, he's gone tumbling in towards the crowd. Nielsen brings it away. Giggs. Crowd are really on their feet now, urging United forward. Well, I think it was Wren who got that touch.
Just when we thought the young lad was going to hit Blomqvist, he strikes it, and look, it's gone through Nicky Butt's legs, is it? And I mean, Schmeichel made a valiant effort, but he was so wrong-footed, he just couldn't quite get there.
Who played for Everton has given Manchester United a bit of a jolt. Pallister. United's 54th European tie here at Old Trafford. Right back to, I think, 1956, and they've never lost a European tie here. Tonight is not the night to start, but it's 2-2. I think they have a wonderful record here. Bruce hoisting it again towards Ryan Giggs. Pallister stabbing it forward again. Hughes finding Irwin. Sharp getting down that flank. United have won their 2 games here this season, of course, against QPR and against Wimbledon. And beaten only once here last season. Gavin Peacock's goal for Chelsea. Free kick then to Manchester United. A lot of activity in that Gothenburg penalty area again. Jockeying for position, floating it in. It's Cormack who got it clear. But a little touch. Pallister really struggling to get to that one. Butt getting back again. It wasn't a very good initial ball from Nicky Butt, but that's a better one now from Ince, inviting Irwin forward. Cross now towards Mark Hughes, too high for him.
But again, Manchester United are just carrying on doing what they've done all along. They've not changed the tactics. There's no reason to. I'm sure Bobby Charlton will be the first to agree. You see him sat there. He'll be a little bit worried, but he also admit, I'm sure, that the tactics on the night have been very good, but they've just been caught out by two, not sloppy goals, silly goals, I suppose, one of them, and the other one there's really not much they could do about. But they've got to start all over again, haven't they?
That's right. Up there, Michael Nielsen with the free kick. Bruce attacking it, but it's skewed off his head for the throw. Stefan Lindqvist. Blomqvist did well here. But Ince will bring it away. Kanchelskis and May stuttering just at the moment, United.
Yeah, that goal just, psychologically came at a really bad time. Just got 2-1 up, deservedly so. Looking then to go on and win the game and get a nice goal average going in the league, and then suddenly hit straight away within a minute by a fluky sort of goal, really. So they've got to start all over again and keep doing what they've been doing.
Blomqvist in behind the wall. The flag had stayed down. And once or twice this United defence are beginning to look a little vulnerable, Kevin.
Yeah, very difficult for defenders because they've not been under much pressure at all. And so the concentration's got to be absolutely spot on. And to be honest with you, I think Alex Ferguson was really sort of saying that at half-time, without actually saying it, that he wasn't happy with a lot of the defending. And that was just concentration, lacking in it at certain times.
Wren trying to get Martinson away. May is out shoved by the Swede there, and at the end of it's a corner.
I don't think David May has really settled into this United side yet. I mean, I honestly believe he's a better central defender than he is fullback, and I don't mean that disrespectful to him. It's taken him a little while to adapt to Manchester United. And I'm sure long-term they see him as a replacement for Bruce. But it could be long-term because he's such a good professional, Bruce.
It's the corner, a very deep one. Too deep even for Pedersen. Manchester United.
They mustn't allow this game to die now, Brian, Manchester United. That will suit Gothenburg absolutely down to the ground, and that's what they'll be wanting to do, quieten the crowd. That's always what Bill Shankly used to say. First thing to do, boys, quieten the crowd. So they must keep this crowd alive by keep playing the way they've been playing, at the pace they've been playing, and I'm sure they're going to create other openings. It's just a case of whether they're sticking in.
Well, that's aimed towards Giggs. Trying to knock it down for Hughes, but again Cormack was there for Gothenburg. Ince getting it back to Pallister. Pallister trying this side of the field now for Mickey Butt. Butt in turn feeding Kanchelskis, scorer of the second Manchester United goal. Butt, Kanchelskis. Still kept in play. Whole of the ball wasn't over the line. Ince. Oh, it's a lovely ball played inside the fullback for May. May was stretching out, they couldn't quite get him. I think that may be a free kick for handball by Lindqvist. And United find something from this situation. Giggs will take it. The angle is a little different from a corner, of course, but Pallister and Bruce are in there. And it might go anywhere. Pallister and May! there's some pushing. It won't be allowed.
Incredible. I don't think he's given anything. It just bubbled back into it bubbled back into Ravelli's hands again. It's as if he's just destined to be involved in everything that's happening.
Extraordinary. Look at it. Pallister got a bang at it. David May was right in there. There he is, number 2.
He's hit him back on the head and gone back into Ravelli's hands. I mean, incredible stuff.
Lindqvist. Pedersen. Wren. Wren again. Pedersen taking it from Blomqvist. Stefan Wren. But he hit it straight at Ince. Kanchelskis into the path of Giggs. That's always the most exciting sight. Giggs in full stride now. Kanchelskis up alongside him. Nicky Butt's made a darting little run as well. Kanchelskis dummied, found a yard, and then finds Butt. There are plenty of blue shirts have gone back, and Butt's ball was a poor one, to be fair. Sharp, and a throw to Gothenburg. Here's that scramble again, Kevin.
Oh, it's incredible. I mean, you'd say Tilton was a pinball machine. Look, he's hit it. You must fancy May. It goes against the defender. It goes back off the goalkeeper, back off the head of May or somebody again, and back into Ravelli's hands.
Hughes battling away there. A throw given to Manchester United. It's with Paul Ince. The temperature's rising here now. Sharp. Hughes can't get it. The fans thought there was a handball there. A Gothenburg player's gone down and they get a free kick. And Hughes is called to the referee.
This referee does not like filling in those reports for the yellow cards, Brian, because he's had plenty of chances if he wants to conform with the new rules.
But what he's done, he's accepted that it's a man's game and he's kept it going beautifully.
Oh, I agree a lot. I mean, this is the way I think football should be played. This is the way I think football should be refereed. But a lot of the things that are being thrown at referees doesn't give them the chance to do that.
I think a lot of them are confused, and this man is very clear in his own mind the way he wants to see this game played.
Yeah, because he didn't brandish a yellow card early on when he could have done. He sort of set the tempo, and he brandished one early on. He had to keep going doing that.
Then he set his own tempo then, hasn't he?
Exactly.
Lindqvist. Closing down United. Bruce tries to get it out towards Giggs. And Giggs gets the better of Cormac. Paul Cormac tried a little trick there, and fortunate for him, Giggs didn't fall. But Cormac for a moment looked as though he was having a little clip at Giggs' legs. It's a goal kick.
I think with some justification. He certainly didn't go for the ball here. He stood on his back heel, and he has stopped his momentum, and that was a free kick. And you know, the referee was only 5 yards away. But we'll allow him one mistake, Brian.
Yep. May. Oh, this is a good run here by Nielsen. And it's a dangerous one now by Blomqvist. Pedersen's waiting in the middle for him. Good challenge there by Steve Bruce. May to Giggs. This is a fantastic cup tie now. It may be a lead, and there may be a lot of games to come, but both sides are really going out to win this one. Nielsen plays it across the goal. Ravelli is there. He tried to dummy Lee Sharp, succeeded in doing so. And just listen to that crowd getting on their feet again. Irwin playing it in towards Nicky Butt. Stopped though again by the Gothenburg defence. Lindqvist. Blomqvist. 2-2 with less than half an hour to go. That's a foul, surely. But what a half an hour it's going to be.
I can just imagine the emotions of Alex Ferguson. 1 minute we think, go on and win it. Next thing, for goodness sake, let's not come out with nothing here. It's a league table. I mean, it must be like a roller coaster ride for him down there.
Lee Sharp up to Ryan Giggs, given away to Blomqvist, or rather to Lundqvist. Alistair. Irwin, will he play it back safely? Yes, to Schmeichel. Foul on Mark Hughes. free kick already taken.
Taken from about 40 yards from where the incident was as well, Brian.
I love this ref because it's the spirit of the law rather than the letter that he's looking at.
As long as the assessor's looking at it the same way, Brian, he'll be all right. I'm sure he will be, but that was quite a long way, probably 20 yards from where that incident took place. And if they'd have scored from it, you know, it would have maybe been a big point of argument, especially from the Gothenburg players.
All Super Stadium here, of course, now it's Old Trafford.
And a terrific atmosphere, Brian.
Beautiful sight it is too.
Yeah, it really is. It's not full, but I'm sure sometimes when it's full, you haven't had the atmosphere that is here tonight.
Through to Schmeichel. United's free kick. Bruce finds Ince. Ince sweeps it wide to that far side. Can Lee Sharp keep this in play? Yeah, quite comfortably. Irwin's just inside. Here he is. But there's a determined challenge though by the Swede. That's Martinsson, I think. Is he in trouble? No. It's a free kick though.
I didn't feel that was at the foul. I'd like to see it again, but I felt that he made a little bit of meal of it there, and maybe he sucked the referee in. But
here's the free kick coming in. To be taken by Lee Sharp. Bruce knocking it down. Kanchelskis. Bruce again. Kanchelskis. Another throw to Manchester United. Keeping this pace going really well. May. Alistair. Sharp. Long-range shot. Plays it for Ince. Another long-range shot and a great one! Giggs again! A fantastic shot by Ince. Beaten again by the crossbar, but this time Ryan Giggs was there to finish it off. And United are back in the lead again.
this is when Ravelli's luck finally ran out, because he makes a great save here, Brian. Watch this. He gets a touch to this, and it comes back and hits him and drops straight to who else tonight but Ryan Giggs.
Manchester United 3, Gothenburg 2. What a cup tie. Now they've got to stay firm again. The ball's in Schmeichel's hands. Kanchelskis. And away he goes. But this time Björklund will be there, getting it back to Ravelli. Here's Butt. Björklund again. Nielsen. Johansson. Pedersen. Play on, said the referee. Blomqvist. Watch him. Blomqvist again. Lindqvist. Bruce gets it away. And now Kanchelskis. May gets it forward. Heroes outnumbered. Björklund with a header for Gothenburg. Michael Nielsen playing it forward again. Bruce in for Ince. Played for May. Taken nicely on his chest. Plays it for Nicky Butt. No. And back to Schmeichel. It's Lee Sharpner as one United player who's struggling a bit is Dennis Irwin.
Just got a knock there and he's been down a while, but watch this shot from Ince. And watch the save. He does great to get something on it. It hits the bar and the post.
And look at the crowd. And look at the crowd again.
Well, I'd like to tell you more about that, but I think it's an Umbro jacket. Or if that wins the game, it's a classic goal, and you know, you can sort of say the goalkeeper's unlucky, but what a great strike from Ince.
Well, there's not a great deal of experience on the United bench. There's a lot of prospects there, just as Ryan Giggs was a year or two ago, but Irwin is fit to go on. All the United subs are warming up.
You get very excited for the chances if they can get off to a good start, because after 4 matches, the 5th match they'll have Cantona back in, and you know, he does add something. You know, even the most, well, say anybody who doesn't like Manchester United, there's a few around the country who envy them and don't like them, but they've got to admit he's something special, and they've got to keep him in with a chance of taking part in it, haven't they? That's their job.
Ince battling away with Blomqvist. Gets the better of him. Whips the ball across to the far side. Giggs is coming into the picture again, but this time Cormac just gets a touch to put it away for the throw to Manchester United. 20 minutes and a few seconds to go. Nicky Butt. Owen. Hughes. And stopped by Ravelli.
Well, that's Mark Hughes at his very best. Loves to feel people close up behind him, doesn't he? And just turn them. He'd be slightly disappointed with the finish, but he was falling back.
Alistair with a long ball, and Nielsen just gets there to prevent it going through for Andrei Kanchelskis. David May. Here's Kanchelskis. Oh, he's put a good ball in again! It's another one! It's sharp! It's 4-2! The comeback now could be complete. Lee Sharp, the scorer. Terrible mistake in the Gothenburg defence.
Well, it's the goalkeeper. It's the goalkeeper. He's got to come here. He can't stop. He looks like holiday on ice, doesn't he? You'd think it was an icy pitch. But watch Kanchelskis, an early ball in when they don't expect it. And that's what causes the trouble. And then, well, I'd like to see the goalkeeper be a bit braver there. No points out of 10 for bravery for me.
Blomqvist now trying to restore something for Gothenburg. Ren. Lindqvist. Johansson. Oh, Nicky Butt nearly found it bouncing for him then. There's an offside though. Linesman dead right.
If all the matches are going to be like this in this Champions League, Brian, we're in for some treats, aren't we? Watch what he does here. He teases them, then he whips it in early when they least expect it. But that goalkeeper and that defender have got to somehow make each other's mind up. But they just let him come through. But fair dues to Sharp, he never stopped. Very brave. He was the only one who was brave out of the three of them.
Bruce, and then Ince, and then Hughes, and then Kanchelskis. They're really flying now. Ryan Giggs on this side, but that ball won't quite reach him. Lindqvist to track back really well. Now what's he going to do? Bruce. Here's Blomqvist. Look at Ince getting back at him. Look at Ince getting back at him. And in goes Pallister. This is some cup tie now, isn't it? Oh.
Tremendous. You're seeing the cream of each country, but you're seeing a great game as well. And that's not always been the case in this. Maybe the league system's the right way, Brian.
Wren playing it in. Schmeichel safely gathering. And there's his long throw out to Mark Hughes. Little touch inside for Giggs. Scorer of 2 goals tonight. Owen down the left. Giggs again. McAllister. The free kick's been given. It's already been taken. It's with Blomqvist. Martinson. Pedersen's in the middle. Blomqvist now on the ball with a good left foot on him. Wren trying to get a little 1-2 going. And Pallister couldn't wait for Schmeichel to arrive. Martinson again. Cormac. Okay. One thing I think that Alex Ferguson will want now is for the team to continue to be aggressive and to keep passing the ball. I think he worried greatly at Galatasaray when they conceded a 2-goal lead there, because in his own words they were fannying around and they didn't, they tried to put on the party tricks, and I just caught a glimpse of it a moment or two there. They've really got to go with great aggression still and keep going forward.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with passing the ball around, Brian, as long as you're doing it for a purpose. But when you start passing it just for the sake of it, and that's what they did against Galatasaray, then you do get yourself in trouble, and everyone starts to get a bit, oh, well, it doesn't matter, just knock it here. And the concentration drops, and then suddenly you find yourself in a battle again.
That's right. Even at 4-2, it's not a time for party tricks in the European Champions League.
No, but you've got Ryan Giggs on a hat-trick, you've got Kanchelskis on fire, and suddenly you start to think, they're not going to do that. Not Man United, not tonight.
Well, I hope they learned their lesson last year. I'm sure they did against Galatasaray. Bruce hits it forward. Kanchelskis. Ince. Sharp. No, it won't reach Hughes. Erling Mark gets it back. United get possession again.
The other thing that's worth bearing in mind, Brian, is just what a message it sends to the other clubs, not just in their own group, but outside of it. Ooh, Man United, what a force they're going to be. It just sends a little shot across the bows, if you like.
Cormac with the free kick. Hoisted high towards the head of Steve Bruce. Blomqvist does well again, holding off the challenge of May. Lindqvist. Nielsen. Erling Mark. Balls for Paul Ince. Ran a nice touch. Erling Mark. Again Ince gets in there quickly. This is back with a little ball, a good ball there. Ince, too long for Ryan Giggs.
Well, it wasn't so much too long, that ball. Ince expected Giggs to stay out wide, Brian, and he came in looking, he wants that third goal. I mean, who wouldn't? Young man with a lot of talent, but that hat-trick in something like this, a big competition, it's something only most lads can dream about, isn't it?
Nielsen. Wren. Long to Pedersen. Blomqvist has gone forward. Lindqvist is in there too. There's Lindqvist. But a very good challenge indeed by Nicky Butt. Bruce with a header clear. Hughes going up for that one. Just touching it on. Giggs just touching it on himself, and he's away again. So that's Roger Gustafsson, the coach of Gothenburg. He's been there since 1990 and he's won the championship 3 times while he's been there, so he's really been highly successful in his time there, but he's got to do something to pull this one round now.
You can see he's been successful, but he hasn't got any grey hairs, has he?
Here's Owen. Played inside. Hughes couldn't quite get on the end of it. Gothenburg are not quite sure how they got that one away. But it's a throw.
Supporters. Supporters. Sitt kvar på läktaren matchen är slut. Det tar ett par minuter att hämta.
It's a corner which Giggs will take.
Vi ska sitta kvar på läktaren matchen är slut. Vi ska sitta fram samtidigt.
Sharp. 2 ahead. Bruce playing it in. Word about Nicky Butt, I must say, having watched him, I can see what Alec Ferguson says. His temperament has been absolutely first class. At 19-year-old, his first European game, and he's made a very valuable contribution to United.
He's worked very hard. The Americans would say he's worked his butt off here tonight. He's not had a tremendous influence on the game, other than he's tracked back and won the ball and give it to people. But I mean, great experience for him, and he'll come on for that, you know. It's like running a horse. You expect him to come on for the race, and he'll get better.
Well, he's making a run now for Kanchelskis, but Kanchelskis beaten by Lindqvist. Free kick given. Which way? To Gothenburg. Handshake. That really epitomises the spirit of this game tonight. It's been played in terrific spirit.
Yeah, there's not been a bad tackle in the 80 minutes so far. The refereeing, I think, has been as near perfect as you can get. And the attitude of both sets of players has been to get the ball down and play football on a beautiful pitch in a fantastic atmosphere. Everything's been right, and if you're a Man United fan,
it's been ever so right. It's Peter Schmeichel with the goal kick. Remember, play Galatasaray in Turkey. That'll be quite a night. That's a fortnight tonight, live with us, of course. Then they have Barcelona here a fortnight after that, I think it is. And the game after that is away to Barcelona. And then it's Gothenburg away and Galatasaray at home. And there's Blomqvist trying to thread his way through again. But all those games, remember, before Christmas. All of them live with us.
You could say Christmas has come early when it's mouth-watering prospect.
But Kanchelskis. Ince. Again swept wide. Giggs. Made a good ball now. Look at the break from Nicky Butt. That's one of his qualities, that he does make good breaks from the midfield. A throw to Gothenburg.
You know what he's got, Brian? I'm just trying to work out what it is. He feels he belongs, and he's got character. And you talk to young lads sometimes, and you sometimes look at them, and you don't seem to get a lot back. But you look at this lad, and you see, yeah, I belong here, you know, and I'm not going to waste this opportunity. And I think great attitude.
Here's Kanchelskis. To May. May again. Here's Butt. So there's a foul and a handball and a little moment of temperament there.
You need a bit of that as well, Brian.
It's Wren. Pedersen. Irving Mark. Martinson. Ball out of play for a throw to Manchester United. The last 8 minutes of the game.
Martinson, the number 6, has worked very, very hard down the right-hand side, and I think that the coach Gustafsson will be very pleased with the efforts of everybody. I don't think you can question that. They've just got caught out a couple of silly goals against, but really and truthfully, they've put up a good performance here.
Indeed. Free kick taken quickly. Irwin hitting it high. Hughes chasing this. And a might walk forward for Giggs now. Quite right. Referee 100% right. Mark Hughes was jumping at the defender there.
That stadium's nearly as good as St James's Park, you know, Brian.
33,625 is the attendance here tonight. Next home game in the European Champions League is against Barcelona. I would guarantee that'll be a full house. Mr. Romario and company.
Si, senor.
Blomqvist looking to get that onto that left foot again. But just look, 2, 4, 6 United players have gone back there, and it was Lee Sharp who got it away. Ball just kept in play. It's it back to Ravelli. Martinson, the flag has stayed down. Schmeichel gets there first. Good goalkeeping. Terrific anticipation there by Peter Schmeichel. And you can see how near to the edge of the box he was when he actually just grabbed that ball before Michael Martinson could get to it.
Yeah, this is what you want goalkeepers to do, work on the angles, and he does it terrific. And he manages somehow to stay inside the box, which was no mean feat.
Then plays it wide here. For May, inside for Ince, stabilising effect through that midfield. Paul Ince tonight again. Sharp. Here's Giggs. Hitting it towards Hughes. He'd arched his neck and he was into his climb, but the defender just got a touch to it and that was enough. Hughes again. Björklund with a header for Gothenburg. In comes David May. It'll be a throw. Remember, Alex Ferguson was saying he reckons 8 or 9 points will put Manchester United into the quarter-finals of the European Cup out of this league. Well, it looks as though the first 2 are going to be bagged here tonight at any rate. With a little under 5 minutes left. A wonderful cup tie that's just for the moment lost a little of its momentum.
This is maybe, Brian, where the difference between the 2 legs and the league, this may be where what will happen in some of the games, because I don't think Gothenburg want to concede anymore, because the goal difference could be important. And yet Manchester United are not chasing, you know, they're going to not taking a 4-2 lead to Gothenburg, are they? It's a complete different game. And, you know, maybe that's the thing that when they reflect on the changes it's going to make, maybe that will be one of the negative things.
But there hasn't been much that's negative tonight, has there?
No, it's been tremendous, and I suppose we're being greedy now because we want the last 20 minutes to be like the first 70. And maybe we're just asking for a bit too much.
Hughes chesting it on. Kanchelskis. Hughes wanted it back. Sharp is in there. Giggs is in there. The man looking for a hat-trick, but not with that one. Blomqvist. Very impressed by him, I must say, Blomqvist tonight. Lindqvist. Edison. Blomqvist again, but the interception was by Steve Bruce. Here's Sharp.
I would have thought, Brian, you would be hard pushed anywhere in the world at any time in the last 20 years to see 3.
Hold on, Nicky Butt going in there, but Björklund. Sorry, Kev.
To see 3 better left-footed players. You've got Sharp, Giggs and Blomqvist, and they're all very impressive. I don't think any one of them is over about 22.
Ince gets it a long way back. A foul on Mark Hughes. Cheers from the Old Trafford faithful for that one. Well, it may be past his bedtime, but it's well worth waiting up for this time. Thread that inside Michael Nielsen for the pace of Kanchelskis, but it didn't come off for them. Here's Stefan Wren getting it forward again to Blomqvist, holding off that challenge. He's a strong lad. He doesn't look to be much of him, Blomqvist, but I've noticed all night how he's withstood some really...
The shirt looks almost too big for him, doesn't it?
Yeah,
as you see
tackles,
it
but he holds off. Yes, that's right. He'll be one that the big clubs are, no disrespect to Gothenburg, but the Italians or maybe the big clubs here will be, the Germans will be looking for him, I would have thought, next.
Yeah, because he's happy with the line there. He can play on the left side, but he also, when he goes in the middle, he's very direct. Reminds me more of Sharp than Giggs, but certainly got a terrific future. Player of the year a young player of the year in Sweden. So
Hughes felt he was a little aggrieved there. He felt that there was an obstruction, and if anything, it should have been a free kick United's way. But Mr. Goethals of Belgium saw it the other way. As we said, he's had a terrific game himself. What is it now? It's a throw. Inside the last minute, back with Peter Schmeichel. United 4-2 ahead and heading for a great start in this European Champions League. Certainly had their mini crises here tonight, going a goal down and then pulled back to 2-2.
There's been far more pluses than minuses, Brian, hasn't there? You know, there's been some super football played, some great goals scored, and when they've had to fight and battle for it, apart from the odd moments of madness, they've done that. And you've got to do that at times. It can't always be pretty football and one-touch football, and that's why they're a great side, because they've got a lot of qualities, not just one or two.
Johansson. Final whistle's gone. It's a great start for Manchester United, thanks to those goals by Ryan Giggs, who got 2 of them. Kanchelskis 1 and Sharp 1, with Pedersen having put Gothenburg ahead in the first half, Wren having brought it back to 2-2. But overall, it's a start of a glorious trail for Manchester United. It couldn't be a better start. Over 33,000 here at Old Trafford, and they've seen Manchester United win by 4 goals to 2.